Hey, everyone, come on in. Come on in. Just gonna let everyone in. Welcome. There's a phone number if someone is trying, that is on your team that is trying to dial in with a phone number, just message me, or you can unmute yourself and let me know. Just not familiar with the phone number. Come on in, welcome. We are going to get started in about 2 minutes. I'm just going to let everyone join. Sorry, I was running a little late. We were up in the garden trying to plant the last of the season. These are the days to plant that fall garden. So we're trying to get it all in. How about you guys? What are y'all up to? Are you guys planting at all? Planting the last of the season? I was kind of weepy when I looked at the seed packet and was like, August 1st is the last day you can plant. Well, we're a day late, but I think, hey, what's one day? And I was like, oh, so sad. But come on in, grab a notepad, grab your oils, grab something to drink. We're going to talk about something that we all need to hear about, adrenal fatigue tonight. So just one more minute. I'm going to put my oils on too. I am loving, I always call it Rise Up. It's not Rise Up, it's Rise Above. It's the new Young Living convention oil. It's my favorite. Smells good. What are you guys loving tonight? Type in the comments, what oils are you just drawn to? I love having an arsenal of oils. I don't know, I just love having an arsenal of oils because my body craves different things during different seasons. And so, I don't know, I have my tried and trues like Valor and Clarity, but then it's sometimes I am craving patchouli and sometimes I am craving Royal Hawaiian Sandalwood, and I don't know, Kid Power, yes, Sue, oh my gosh. That has been on my wish list, and then it was free last month. So my kids are loving it and putting in all the diffusers, and it smells so good. So I think it's almost empty. But yes, Kid Power, even for adults. Valor, all the Valor, right? I have it here too. What else are you guys loving? I love Clarity all the time. Right here on my forehead, helps me think clearer. Okay. I'm already recording, so welcome everyone. My name is Sarah Stutzman, and I am one of your brand partners here with Young Living. And I know this is open, these calls are open for Team Young Living, because you know what? We all need to hear this, and we do not keep anything exclusive for all of y'all to learn. This is education that is so crucial, so important. And the reason that I am with Young Living is because I believe in the power of these oils, okay? Our company is going through some transition right now. We got a brand new website. It is incredible, loving it. I had some access to it, a couple months beforehand. Change is change, and so it takes us a little while to get used to change, but loving the new website. We're going through some transitions, but I love the power of Young Living oils. I have been an oiler since I was in high school. And I don't know, I was that hippie child, grew up in a development, actually before that on an exotic animal farm. My parents managed my aunt and uncle's exotic animal farm, Christmas tree farm. So then when they moved us to a development, I was like, what? Culture shock. But I would have my mom run me to like health food stores and herb stores. And I just loved essential oils. I loved homeopathy. I had books on homeopathy, books on like just understanding our dreams, what our dreams meant. So I've always been intrigued by it. And then I fell in love with Young Living because of their purity and their quality and what they did for our family. And so 6.5 years later, it'll be 7 in October, and I just, yes, keep coming back. So tonight we are going to talk all about adrenal fatigue. If you are a red-blooded human in 2021, many of you, I can't say all because I don't know if all of you, maybe you're super chill and just like go with the flow. If you are go with the flow, comment. If you are like high strung, multitasker, comment. What are you? If you are a red-blooded human in 2021, most likely you are in one of the phases of adrenal fatigue. And we're going to talk about the adrenals and all of that. So I'm going to pull up my screen. And if you have any questions, I will go through the questions at the very end, because as I'm sharing my screen, I can't see y'all. So let's see. All right. So we're going to talk about ways to nourish those adrenal glands tonight. Here's the agenda. So like, what exactly are the adrenal glands? Where are they on our body? What are the purpose of the adrenal glands? What's the 4 stages of adrenal fatigue? Foods that nourish and heal. How can you change your lifestyle? How can you start incorporating things that are going to nourish and heal your body? Key nutrients to support the adrenal glands. So according to Johns Hopkins Medicine, adrenal glands are the small triangular shaped glands located on top of both kidneys. So right there in that picture, right here, it's like a little triangle. Adrenal glands produce hormones that regulate your metabolism, your immune system, blood pressure, response to stress, and other essential functions. Here are the hormones that the adrenal glands produce. Okay, we're getting a little super sciencey, little medical, little, in depth tonight. So this is a little graphic that you can look at. If you are in the medical field, you may understand this. You probably do understand this a lot more, but let me break it down. So the adrenal glands produce over 50 hormones. And we usually only hear about, DHA, cortisol. We only hear about, a few of them. And so here's a few of the main ones. But the thing is, it's mostly ladies joining tonight, but this is really important for our men too, because our men are very, they're under stress too. It's not just women, but women, we multitask a lot more, and we can keep our stress to a point where no one knows we're under stress. We can juggle a lot of things, but the body never lies. Body never lies. You may think you have it all together, but deep down inside, your body is struggling and it's screaming. Our adrenal glands produce a lot of male hormones, and they're a precursor to a lot of our female hormones like estrogen and progesterone. Okay, not all of them, but it's a precursor to some of them. Okay, and so aldosterone, it regulates sodium and potassium within our kidneys. Okay, so that's very, very important. cortisol. When we think adrenal glands, we probably think cortisol, right? We think, you know, when we're under stress, it's our adrenals that are pumping out cortisol, which is very true. But cortisol is not a bad guy. We always think cortisol is bad. It's not good for us. But if we didn't have cortisol, we'd be in big trouble, okay? Cortisol helps to regulate glucose metabolism, the sugar that's in our system. And it's also important for immune response to injury. So if we get a cut, if we fall, it's the first thing that's on the spot for immune response. It's like, hey, we need help here. And it helps send in that inflammation. We talked about that at the beginning or middle of the month in July, inflammation. Cortisol and inflammation kind of go hand in hand. So when our cortisol is high, usually inflammation, not usually, always, inflammation is high. So cortisol is not a bad thing. It's good to be high in certain, you know, stress response situations. Like if you fall and you injure yourself, of course, cortisol is going to be high. Inflammation is going to be high. If you are, you know, if your child is, you know, in the middle of the street and you see a car coming and you have to run and you know, protect your child, of course, your cortisol is going to be high, your inflammation is going to be high. So it is meant for a purpose, but not to live in that state of fight, flight, okay? More on that later. Androgens create DHEA, which then create testosterone. This is more for our men here. Creates libido, good sex drive, and for ladies, it's a precursor to estrogen, okay? So I know I talk about this a lot. I talk about a lot about stress. I talk about our hormones, but cholesterol is it's like the hormone, like it is the master, okay? Cholesterol does a lot in our body, which is, you know, that's bringing in the liver, but cholesterol creates or facilitates in creating pregnenolone and DHEA. Okay, pregnenolone is what creates our progesterone, our female hormone. But then if we are in fight flight all the time and we can't produce enough cortisol, progesterone then, or pregnenolone diverts and makes cortisol instead of progesterone, all right? And then the other hormone that it makes is in the adrenal glands is DHEA, which is the male hormones. And we have a little bit of testosterone. We need a little bit, but not a lot. But androgens here is a precursor to estrogen, which is created in the adrenal glands. It's also important facilitates in creating our stress response hormones. Adrenaline, noradrenaline, and dopamine. Dopamine is kind of that happy hormone, right? It is our feel-good hormone. When we're all like even keel, everything's good in life. Like, don't we all want to be in that dopamine state? Like kind of like that milk drunk state as an infant, right? Like everything is so good. That's essentially where we want to be, happy. All right, so what disrupts all those, all those things that are so essential in our well-being? Stress, that's it, stress, right? What do you think of when you think of stress? I mean, I can't see your comments here, but like think to yourself, what do you think of when you think of stress? Most of you are probably thinking overworked schedules, got to get my kids here and there, got to get dinner on the table, got to get laundry done. Oh my gosh, my house is a disaster. Got to pay the bills, like all the things, right? Well, there's a lot more to stress in our body than just all of that. So on top of that, we have diet, anxiety. Stress brings on extra anxiety, emotional stress. If you are going through a very traumatic experience, or if you have trauma in your life that you have not dealt with, grief, if you're going through a season of grief where maybe a loved one has passed away or a loved one is sick, like that is stress on our body. autoimmune conditions. And I can't say that all of this plays into, like, I think they all catapult on each other. They all like play on each other. So when we are stressed out, when your schedule is so jam-packed, is your diet on point? I see y'all, like I see some of you, right? No, when you are so busy and you can't get dinner on the table, I'll take a 1 large cheese pizza, some French fries, mozzarella sticks. This is me. I do it, right? Or, we run through the fast food, or we get the boxed food at the grocery store. That is just what happens. So we need to get the stress in our life under control. We need to get our schedules under control, ladies. We need to start saying no. Okay, no. And I know that's really, really hard to start eliminating things, but if we don't, our body is going to take a toll. And if our body takes a toll, we can't give and we can't love on those that are around us. So all of these, I think play on each other or could exacerbate other things. So autoimmune conditions too. And let me talk about diet real quick. So even if your diet is on point and you are eating really well, sometimes certain foods may not agree with you, or your body sees it as a stressor, even if it's a super healthy food, like I always bring this up, I don't know, strawberries. Because strawberries are really, they are a food sensitivity, even though they're super healthy, right? They're fruit. We would think, oh, what could be sensitive about that? What could be like irritating about that? But strawberries could be an irritable food for you. So having a food sensitivity test, which I talked about that, in our last inflammation course, but having a food sensitivity test taken, I think it's Everlywell. I can send it in the email, but you can have a food sensitivity test done to see what foods are triggers for you, what are causing stressors for you. And then we'll talk later. I can keep going on there. But what are the 4 stages of adrenal fatigue? Because adrenals, if you have an imbalance in your adrenals, it could cause so many things. There's Addison's disease, there's Cushing's disease. So I'm not getting into disease. Adrenal fatigue is not listed as a disease. It is just, there are a lot of symptoms that could lead into other diseases in the body. But we want to get the adrenals in, we want to get them nourished and thriving. So that way the rest of your body is thriving. So here's the 4 stages. And I want you to think about it. Where are you? Because I'm going to ask you guys at the end, where are you on these? There's 4 stages. Where are you on the stages? So stage 1, this stressor could be really simple. So I want you to also think about in history, when did stress really start for you? Because as children, we're just going through life. Unless you had a very traumatic childhood or you had some trauma that was passed down through generation that, you may be just a high-strung person because you, generationally, things happened in your mother's childhood or your grandmother's childhood, which that's deep. And I'm going through counseling right now for that. I had an amazing childhood, but there's some generational trauma that I see reoccurring that I want to make sure that I'm getting taken care of, because now anxiety, worry, fear, things that I've never worried about before are creeping up. And I don't want that manifesting into my children. So I'm recognizing these patterns. So think to yourself, when did I start to become a really worried person, stressed out, anxious? When did that happen? Maybe when we had to decide on what we're going to be the rest of our life, right? What career we had to be. Like, we get put in this box, right? But that stressor could be very simple, like a job interview. Okay, the body can create significant amount of hormones needed for that response, which is normal, right? Totally normal. You may have fatigue a little bit, but some caffeine, sugar, high carb foods that help that helps to shake off the fatigue, right? You may be a person that bounces back. You had the interview, I'm awesome, I'm cool. I don't need the high carb foods. Maybe that's just like a 1 day, 1 week thing, and then you bounce back. But maybe you're the person that, you got the job and now you're in stage 2, dismay response. You got the job and now you're under severe stress. As I was writing this, I was also thinking, which, not all of us can relate to this, but, 2020 took a turn of events, and I always thought I always wanted to be that homeschool mom. It looked romantic, it looked amazing. And then 2020 hit and it happened. And I was like, all right, I have 2 choices here. I send my kids back to school with masks on, which they were refusing, or homeschool, which they were like, yes, let's do it. And I'm going, oh my word, what am I getting into? This sounds like fun, let's do it. And then like under high stress, right? Constantly. So I think we can all relate to the job interview, right? So cortisol levels will elevate if your job is really severe stress, or like just learning something new is stressful. So cortisol levels, and this is a really important stage right here. Hopefully y'all can see this. I'm gonna move y'all to the top there. Cortisol levels are elevated and DHEA levels decrease. Remember, DHEA creates all the testosterone, those male hormones, but precursor to estrogen, libido, sex drive, okay? Those decrease because when cortisol levels increase, our body says, there's no way that there's any reproduction that's going to happen here. You are running for your life. You are trying to survive here. Why would your body even want to create another human? Remember, sex is for creating other humans, mating, right? So why would you want to create another human here? So your sex hormones decrease. Cortisol levels are super high. Normal activities can still be carried out, but fatigue weighs heavy. And I feel like this is where a lot of people are. Comment yes if you are in, or comment stage 2 if you are in stage 2. You feel like you're in this stage where you can still go about your days, but you have that crash in the afternoon, or you wake up and you're still just don't feel rested. It takes longer for you to feel recovered and well rested. Symptoms start to emerge. You need more caffeine, more stimulants, more of those sugary drinks, or more, sugary sweets, the donuts in the afternoon, the muffins, the coffee, whatever it is. Maybe even some wine in the evening, not afternoon, evening. And here is where your thyroid will become affected during this stage. Women, ladies, hypothyroidism, number 1, like diagnosed thyroid condition among women. It's not the thyroid. Did you hear me? It is not the thyroid. Doctors want to treat the thyroid, but it's not the thyroid. That poor thyroid's going, I'm the last resort. All the endocrine systems have been like, all the glands have been like on the front lines, and I'm the last one and I'm being attacked, okay? So this is where the thyroid is going to start to become attacked here, or not, I shouldn't say attacked, but called on for battle, okay? Because it's all hands on deck in this next stage. But first, let's get to this. So what are some symptoms of adrenal fatigue? Digestive problems, because when you are in fight flight, you don't want to eat. And if you do, you're going to crave comfort food. Your bowels are going to be so irritable. You're either going to be constipated or you're going to have diarrhea. Okay, there's no normal bowels. Your body's going to ache. You're going to have pains. You're going to have, back pains, knee pains, joint issues. Because cortisol is high, inflammation is high. You're going to be irritable. Your mood, you're going to snap at everyone. You could be happy 1 minute and you could be, I mean, it's like Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, right? So you're going to be irritable. You're going to be jittery. So if your blood sugar crashes, because remember, cortisol also helps with blood sugar. It also helps with your blood pressure. So you're going to be jittery if you're not eating or getting the caffeine that you need. You're going to have irregular sleep patterns. So you may fall asleep quickly, but then you wake up in the middle of the night and then you can't fall back to sleep. Or you just toss and turn and you can't even fall asleep, okay? Because your HTGP axis is so off that it's so confused. You're tired throughout the day, but then you get this surge of energy, right? Your cortisol then kicks in again. And your blood pressure is elevated. You're gonna have blood pressure issues as well. So that's those symptoms that you see in stage 2. And I feel like that's where a lot of people are, right here in stage 2. Stage 3 is the resistance, meeting the resistance. This is where your entire endocrine system, because the thyroid now is all hands on deck, right? It's the last one to be called on. The entire endocrine system is now all hands on deck, producing stress hormones. So your body is just pumping out these stress hormones, okay? And DHEA will substantially drop off. That means like no testosterone being made. That means like lack of libido, right? That means if your man really is not in the mood, you know he's in stage 3, okay? It takes a lot for a man to not be in the mood, okay? Stage 3. Women, I mean, yeah, very little sex drive, very little estrogen being created here, or progesterone. Lack of enthusiasm, like you're just going through the motions of life. You have your checklist and it's like check, 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 just doing it, just going through the motions, hoping nothing crashes, nothing, crashes. It feels like the Jenga game. If one piece comes out, that's the wrong piece and everything crashes, like you're just trying to keep it all together. You're more prone to infections and sickness in this stage. Because your immune system is down. Because remember, cortisol also helps to your adrenals help with your immune system. It's very important. We all, in modern medicine, we put things in these little boxes. Like, okay, this is the thyroid. This is your bowels, your digestive system. This is your heart. No, everything functions together. Everything. And so that is so crucial in why we have to have an important, a really good diet, why we have to have adequate water, sunshine, joy in our life, doing things we enjoy, and keeping a really balanced schedule. It comes down to the basics, guys. It's not this aha moment, this aha thing that I'm going to share with you tonight. It's the same things I share with you all the time. So anxiety and depression are very elevated in this phase, and muscle tissue is going to break down now and produce energy for the body. And here's my story for you guys. A couple years ago, maybe about 2 or 3, I started having a lot of breast pain on my right side. And it only happened and I know I talked about this a lot when we talk about lymph congestion and stuff, but it has a lot to do with stress. I was under so much stress. I was putting it on myself, and my whole right side, my right arm would go numb. My breasts would hurt so bad that it's like, if you were even not even touching me, but you're in my 6-inch sphere, I'm like, ouch. My back would hurt. And so I went to see a thermographist who does thermo scans instead of getting a mammogram, because there's no radiation. And I was 34? No, that was 5 years. That was way longer. I don't know. I was in my early 30s. And so she said, you have so much inflammation. And what's happening is when your cortisol is high, she's like, pretty much it's eating away your tissue, your muscle tissue, your breast tissue. And I was like, ooh. She's like, yeah, that's what happens. And so this is exactly what happens. When you are so stressed, your muscle tissue is going to start to break down. She said it's like eating away at it, which that sounds grotesque, but it really is. Your muscle tissue is just breaking down, and because it needs it for energy, because your body everything's going into making cortisol, and that's those stress hormones. So this is really severe, the stage 3, but stage 4 is like the burnout. Most people don't get to this stage. This is grand failure, like done. There is absolutely no sex drive. Anxiety is through the roof. Depression is through the roof. By now, you're probably on a lot of medications, which is exacerbating it. And you're numb to your surroundings. Okay. But good news is very few reach this stage. You don't want to reach this stage, guys. Okay. And there is hope. Okay. Some of you, maybe you're at stage 3. And you're going, I don't want to get to stage 4, because by stage 4, you're having autoimmune conditions. Like I said, anxiety, depression is through the roof. You're probably on a lot of medications, which those things don't cure it. It's a Band-Aid. So guess what cures it? And guess what helps? Nothing magical except food, diet, the quality of sleep that you're getting, okay? So here's what we want to decrease. And I'm going to show you a list, and you may be overwhelmed at this list, but I want you to pick one thing from each list. Write it down. What can you do now? And when you get really good at that one thing, at decreasing one thing, increasing another, then you can work on another thing. Okay. So decreasing sugar, the caffeine and stimulants. And when I say stimulants, like some of you maybe you don't drink coffee, but you have a Coke in the morning or a Pepsi. Or maybe it is like a donut, a coffee, or a donut and a muffin or something like that, something that's comforting. Because what that does is it just increases insulin, your blood sugar spikes, you need insulin. So that also causes other things. So decreasing alcohol. What do we do at the end of the day? And I'm guilty of this too. On those really stressful days, it's like, I just need something to relax me, right? Glass of wine, some kind of beverage. Processed high carbs. Maybe that's your comfort. Maybe at the end of the day, it's like a bowl of ice cream. You know, what is it that is your comfort? Maybe it's the middle of the day, but whatever it is, when we're stressed, we reach for comfort because it signals that dopamine in our brain. It is that happiness in our brain. High intensity workouts can also increase that dopamine, that feel good hormone. Women often say, oh my word, I feel amazing after I work out, and then I crash. Well, yeah, you're elevating that cortisol so high, the adrenaline is pumping, you know, your dopamine is going, you feel good, and then you crash. High intensity workouts, for those of you that are already stressed out, are not a good thing. Toxic relationships, toxic jobs. Those two might be really difficult to say no to. And so I want you to work on those. Maybe that's your last things that you work on. But if I say, if you are not happy in your job, what is the point? I don't know, doors open, and we have to be open to those doors. Because if that job is causing so much stress in your life and so much illness in your health, it's not worth it. So what do we increase? Healthy fats, okay? Healthy fats as in avocado oil, butter, lard, coconut oil, all the things that the FDA says are not heart healthy. Yes, they are. Canola oil, get it out of your diet. Get it out of your diet. That is not a healthy fat. Vegetable oils on the market are not healthy. avocado oil, olive oil, lard, butter. Those are healthy fats, okay? That is exactly what our body resonates with. Quality meat and protein, increasing your protein and decreasing all those, you know, high carb things. So in the morning, have an egg and some sourdough bread instead of cereal, instead of, you know, a waffle or pancakes. Have a protein and a good carb, a healthy carb. Greens. So, you know, your spinach, your lettuces. I don't put too much emphasis on that. I put more emphasis on the meat and the nutrient dense carbs, like the sourdough bread, einkorn products, which we'll talk about swap outs in a little bit. But grounding, going outside, if you work at a computer, like hands up, like how many of you are at a computer all day long? Right? Yeah, I see you, Sarah. Whew, me too. I work at home, but I'm on the computer, you guys, like doing this stuff, like creating these programs for you guys, or these educational seminars, which I love doing, which I have my blue blocking glasses and I need to put them on. I forgot to do that. But I'm at the computer a lot. And so sometimes my brain goes, woo, and I forget to breathe. I want you to take note of that. If you're on the computer or you're scrolling on Instagram, even if you're not working from home, we forget to breathe when we're on our phones, when we're on our computer. Okay, that elevates stress. And so when you find yourself doing that, go outside in your bare feet. I don't care if it's the middle of winter, it's crazy, but that's actually healthy. And just take some deep breaths and like open up your arms and be like, breathe through your nose and out through your mouth. And it's like, it feels so good. So grounding, getting that earth's energy, breath work, getting some breathing exercises going. You can YouTube those. I know Sarah Paul talks a lot about breath work. Counseling, I told you guys I'm going through some counseling right now just to help with, you know, trauma from my past generations. It's okay to ask for help. And these are all things that you can put on, like I have a journal of things that I am working through, and it's my manifestation journal. And I have counseling on there and I get to cross it off finally because I did it. I made the appointment. So it's okay if you're not doing this right away. It might be like 3 years down the road. This is a journey that you guys are on. Using your calming oils, like that's super easy, right? Peace and calming and lavender and stress away. Stress away was designed to lower inflammation because it has ocotea in it. Guys, ocotea is amazing. It has copaiba in it, which also lowers inflammation. So use that stress away. Even if you don't like it, put it on the bottom of your feet, put it in the diffuser with thieves. Did you know thieves and stress away together smells like a snickerdoodle? That might not be good because then you may be craving snickerdoodles. I don't know, my girls had all like the fall scents out today. And then key nutrients, which we're going to talk about, that are important to help with adrenal fatigue and adrenal healing. So you're probably saying, Sarah, okay, what do I do if I am a sugarholic? If I love sugar, if I'm craving it in the afternoon, what the heck do I do? Okay. Guys, there are so many amazing like bakeries and you know, Whole Foods that they sell better options if you're not a baker. If you are a baker, use maple syrup in your recipes or in your coffee if you can't get rid of coffee, which we'll talk about. Coconut sugar, also known as palm sugar, helps to, it stabilizes your blood sugar, so it's not going to give you that huge blood sugar rush or insulin rush. It keeps it more steady, okay? It's more natural. Another thing that I don't use coconut sugar, I use sucanat, which is very similar, does the same thing. It's the whole sugar cane. It has not been, you know, extracted. Like we take a plant and we extract all the parts, and then we're left with this like white bleached sugar, right? Sucanat is the whole sugar cane that has been dehydrated and granulated. So all the vitamins, the minerals, not saying it's like healthy, but it's still intact, like the vitamins, the minerals, the molasses, and then it's a little sweet. It's not super sweet, but it gives your baked goods just the right amount of sweetness that you're not craving more. So coconut sugar or sucanat do a great job with that. Honey or stevia. We grow stevia in our garden, and I dry it and I use it like in our teas and stuff for a little sweetener instead of adding honey to it. But you can find a good brand of stevia. I think Young Living sells it. Sometimes it comes in and out, but I know stevia is in a lot of their products that they sell that are sweetened. So let's talk about caffeine. Ningxia, and more ningxia. I still love coffee in the morning, and I'll have like 1 cup. I used to be like a 3-cupper in the morning, and I've gone to like, I get to 2 cups and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. That's like I start to get jittery. But I have eliminated it in the afternoon, and I will have Ningxia Red, which is a great antioxidant drink that it also supports mood. It supports, healthy blood sugars. It gives you energy. It detoxes you from free radicals. It nourishes all your body systems. So that's good. But if I need a boost, I'll do the Ningxia Nitro. It's a little tiny tube of energy. It's like an energy shot. And then Ningxia Zing is like a seltzer with Ningxia in it, and it has B vitamins in it, which B vitamins are incredibly helpful for your adrenal glands. You can add all 3 of those together and it'll give you a powerhouse boost with everything you need, all your minerals, all your B vitamins, antioxidants, and you don't need the caffeine. It's actually going to nourish you and not jack you up. Okay, so if you're like that person that is like a 3-cupper in the afternoon too, or you like live on coffee all day long, you may need that Ningxia Red, Nitro, and Zing all together. Let me tell you, that'll make you zing. So carbs. What do you do for carbs? If you are that carb person that you like your crackers and your crunch and your bread and your pasta and all that stuff, einkorn. Einkorn flour is an ancient grain. It is not hybridized like our wheat products are today. Einkorn, most of it is organic. Young Living has a whole line of einkorn products: crackers, cereal, flour, pasta. You can get it right from Young Living. I get a flour from Jovial flour, and I just make a lot of my own crackers and baked goods because I just do a lot of those things. If you don't, you can buy it. It's available. Einkorn is more digestible, and it's not sprayed with all the heavy, it's organic. It's not sprayed with all the heavy pesticides and herbicides and glyphosate. So those are options for you guys to swap out. And now Nourishment. Because as you're transitioning to a more high protein diet, higher fats, eliminating the sugar and the processed food, you can amplify the healing process. You can jumpstart your nourishment. And so here is what I have been doing that has been an incredible powerhouse boost, right? I have been feeling that like achiness, and it like 2 o'clock comes along and I feel like I have to take a nap. And every morning, time check, every morning I have been like waking up, I feel good. And then I'm like, I know I'm waking up early, but I know I'm gonna have to take my nap. So I'm just gonna like, get myself ready for it and get a lot of stuff done in the morning. And then I'll take my nap and then I'll get up and get the rest of my stuff done. I'm like, this isn't a way to live. I can't like let 3 girls just like roam free in the house doing whatever while mama takes a nap. That's just not cool. So I always drink Ningxia Red, always. And I can tell a difference if I don't. If I forget it for a couple days, I am very lethargic and have that afternoon slump. Always use my EndoFlex. EndoFlex is geranium, spearmint, myrtle, nutmeg, sage, and German chamomile. And it brings, it hires your frequency in all your endocrine system. So all your glands in your endocrine system, it brings vitality to them. So Young Living oils are different than any other oils because they are created with a purpose. They are the only oils that our family will use because of their frequency. that means they resonate with your body. They are living. Those oils are living in that bottle, right? And they raise our frequency. We have a frequency of like 62 megahertz, between 62 and 68. And when we fall below that, that's when we can, have dis-ease in our body, illness can set in. At 25 megahertz, that's when death, our body's dead. But the cool thing is every essential oil has a frequency. And so when they're grown and distilled properly, they're still living in that bottle. And so EndoFlex has all the oils that amplify your endocrine system. So I roll EndoFlex, I mix it half with, I take my bottle and I have 2 EndoFlex bottles. And I do half with EndoFlex and half with a carrier oil. You don't have to, some people put it on straight. My body likes it when it's diluted. I roll it on my thyroid, I roll it on my adrenal glands, which are on your back, right above, like we said, right above your kidneys, which they're so teeny tiny that I just roll it all over my back. I'm like, whatever, roll it over my back. I started rolling it over my liver, my ovaries. You can roll it on the bottom of your feet. Get it on every single morning. It comes in the vitality oil. It's the same thing. I drop it under my tongue or I put it in my Ningxia Red to get it internally. Young Living oils are the only oils that can be taken safely internally because of their proper growing and distillation, okay? So I do that. Always have done that. Thyromin. I want you guys to meet, well, some people say thyromin. I say thyromin, however you want to say it. Hands up if you take that. Like, I love thyromin. Yay! Okay, so this is specifically created for your thyroid, but remember I said that your thyroid is the last one to be like, hey guys, I'm here to the party. I'm ready to like jump in and help, the adrenal glands. You can take this in the morning to help your adrenal glands, which are ultimately going to affect your thyroid. It's going to give you energy in the afternoon. Recommended dose is 1 in the morning. And what I've learned from my nutritionist is if you are taking a whole food supplement, which Young Livings are whole food supplements, that is really for a healthy person, for maintenance. Well, I was not healthy. I was crashing in the afternoon. So I started taking 2 in the morning instead of 1. And like I get to 2 o'clock and I'm like, whoa, yes, I don't have to take a nap. My legs don't feel like concrete, like I can't move them. Like I don't have the ache in my hip and the ache in my knee. I don't have the brain fog anymore. This supplement is incredible. Okay. It does say on the back to take it at night before you go to sleep. I forget. I think maybe Robin, you were saying like I forget who it was. Someone was saying they take it at night and they don't understand why they stay awake. Well, you may need to take it in the morning. Okay, so I take it with breakfast. I take 2 in the morning with my Ningxia and my EndoFlex. I put it on my thyroid. And then Super B. B vitamins are really crucial for all hormone support, for endocrine support, for thyroid, adrenals. I will do this if I need a boost. I started doing this, but then I ran out of Super B and I was like, I felt okay with just thyromin. So my suggestion, if you are not doing any of this, start with Ningxia Red and EndoFlex. Do those 2. Okay. Do that for a couple weeks and then add thyromin in. I'm not one to be like, take this supplement, this supplement, this supplement, and this supplement, because then you don't know it works. Okay. You don't know. Then start to take thyromin. Start with 1 in the morning. See how you feel in the afternoon, and then increase it to 2, okay? I'm not a doctor, I should say that. I am not a doctor, I'm not prescribing, treating, diagnosing. I'm just saying this is what has been helping to nourish. While we're changing our diet, we also need to nourish our body with essential nutrients, vitamins and minerals that our body needs to thrive, okay? Because when our body is so under stress, it depletes B vitamins so fast. We go through minerals so fast. And so we need to keep those things coming because our body doesn't create them. We need to supplement with them unless you're eating copious amounts of liver and beef, which how many of you are doing that, right? I eat liver and beef, but I'm not eating copious amounts of it. So I still need to supplement with these things. And I've been feeling amazing. It's almost 9 o'clock and normally I'd be in bed by like 7:30 with my nap, okay? So trust me, it works. So if you're not gonna do it now, when are you going to do it? What is this all for? Why are you striving? Why are you pushing? Why are you pushing your body to a point of burnout? Look at your schedule. Look at what you need to say no to in order for you to start cooking nutrient-dense foods, supporting yourself, right? And putting good things into your body so that you can be the best and healthiest person you can be. Okay? Because if you get to the end of your days and you are sick and you can't even enjoy life, what's it all for, right? So now is the time. What is the best thing that could happen to you if you start saying no? Women, we want to say yes to everything. We want to look like the superhero. We want to do it all, right? And some of us are like, yes, I want to do it all because it's so much fun, right? But when we get to it, it's not fun because it's stressful. So start saying no, right? I want to say thank you to you all. I'm going to put a link in the bio I'm going to stop sharing here and ask questions, okay, because we're almost done. I'm going to put a link here. Fill out this survey and I will send you, I have to work on it yet, my guide for adrenal support, which is like just foods that you can eat, supplements, all the things we talked about tonight, right? So if you're a live viewer tonight, you get to take advantage of that. And I'll send that out by Wednesday. But let me see your questions here. You're saying, I hate my job. Yes. Okay, so weight, yes. Weight can be a thing if you are in usually adrenal fatigue, you're losing weight, but it could be the reverse. You could be storing weight because your cortisol is high. Even if you're doing high intensity workouts, it's not gonna do any good. So yoga, stretching, walking, something that's gonna get out frustration, kickboxing. Oh, some of you are saying you're in stage 3. Oh my word. Okay. Any questions? I'm going to open it up to Q&A quick. We have just a few minutes. You can type them in the comments. Okay, so if you are a Young Living member, all you have to do is log into your account and you can add those items to subscribe to save. Subscribe to save is just like what Essential Rewards is. I'm going to go over this for you because I think most of you are all Young Living members that are on here. I know it was really scary at first, but I say subscribe to save is exactly like Essential Rewards. You go in, you add what you want, you delete what you don't want, but there's an added bonus. You get to schedule things that you use on maybe a bi-monthly or a tri-monthly basis that sometimes you forget to add, right? Like I don't order Thieves Cleaner every single month, but maybe every 3 months, right? So I'm going to put that on for every 3 months. So you can just go in and add this to your subscribe to save and you'll get your 24% discount and you will also earn your points back. You'll earn, depending on where you're at, many of you are probably at 20%, maybe even 24%, you're going to get that back. So add that to your subscribe to save. If you are not a Young Living member, you could message the person that invited you, whether it was myself or someone else, and we will help you set that up for you. And we'll give you, our referral number, and then you'll be part of this amazing community that we can help you and support you with your wellness goals. Ningxia Red, does it expire? I don't know. That's a question. I've never let mine go so long. I know my sister lets hers out on the counter, and I was like, what are you doing? She just lets it out on the counter, even after she opens it up. So I don't know. I would think maybe after, after a year, maybe, but I will check on that for you. No question. You can get your thyroid working again. You can. I have heard amazing testimonies. It takes a while. It's taken a while to get there, but you can get it working properly again. Yes, Sue, these products do work for males as well. Males have an endocrine system. Like I said, the adrenal glands create a lot of the testosterone and male hormones. This is crucial. So the thiamine, there's also something called Powergize for men. There is Endogize for women. It's a supplement. I have not tried that, so I'm not going to speak on that one. Maybe some of you have great testimonies, but Endogize is a supplement that helps your entire endocrine system, and it's for females. I mean, men can take it too, but they have Powergize for men. So Powergize is for men. Ooh, thank you, Angela. Your packet does have an expiration date on the Ningxia. Ningxia is great, and the Endoflex is really great for your teens and your tweens, because guess what? Like when you take Clary Sage or any of the like Progestins Plus and stuff, that's definitely a little more hormonal. It has hormonal oils in it, but Endoflex is awesome for children. For, I've heard of mamas that put it on their 2-year-olds that can't sleep because their endocrine system is regulating. It's still regulating their sleep, still regulating their immune system. For our teens and tweens, put it on their thyroid. Give it to your teens and tweens. So good for them too. Okay, it is almost 9 o'clock. I don't want to take up too much time. If you have any personal questions, you can reach out to me. Never hesitate to email me, message me. I'm so happy to be here with you guys tonight. Hope this blessed you and helped you on your journey. All right, guys, have a great evening. Take care. Bye, guys.